have nicer covers, but I feel like this is very appropriate for the first book and introducing Count Olaf. So I will read the blurb on the back. It says, "Dear reader, I'm sorry to say that the book you are holding in your hands is extremely unpleasant. It tells volume contains such a distressing story that consuming any of its contents would be far more stomach-turning than even the most imbalanced meal. To avoid causing discomfort, it would be best if I didn't mention any of the ingredients of the story, particularly a confusing map, an ambidextrous person, an unruly crowd, a wooden plank, and Chapo, the baby wolf. Sadly for me, my time is filled with researching and recording the displeasing and disenchanting lives of the Baudelaire orphans. But your time might be better filled with something more palatable, such as eating your vegetables or feeding them to someone else. With all due respect, lovely. Snicket. So that is number 9 with the purple. Purple spine. So this one has a really cool, really cool cover page, title page, I don't really know. And this one is called The Slippery Slope. 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 And this is number 10. So this one has a bit of a concentration here on Violet. So she's climbing this icy mountain, and then you have like the wind drawn in here. She's wearing this hella cool like poncho thing. She has the ribbon in her hair. I don't know what this thing is. It looks like a candle, but it probably isn't. And there's a little hat there, which is probably Klaus if I was to guess. Climbing up the mountain along with her. And she looks, the expression of her face, pretty dried. It looks like she's had a rough day. But this, I really like the colour scheme of this one with the blue and the purple. And I feel like I really like how the spine, it matches really well with the icy mountain here. So this one also has the letter style blurb, and then right here there's a little picture of this one just has clouds and Violet. There's no Sunny, but she's wearing the poncho, and they're looking pretty shocked. And there's these little, I don't know if you can see them, like I think they're like flies or something, all over them. I don't really know what that's all about. So let me read the blurb of this one. So this one says, "Dear reader, like handshakes, house pets, or raw carrots, many things are preferable when not slippery. Unfortunately, in this miserable volume, I'm afraid that Violet, Klaus, and Sunny Baudelaire run into more than their fair share of slipperiness during their harrowing journey up and down a range of strange and distressing mountains. In order to spare you any further repulsion, it would be best not to mention any of the unpleasant details of the story, in particular a secret message, a toboggan, a deceitful trap, a swarm of giant gnats, a scheming villain, a troop of organised youngsters, a covered casserole dish, and a surprising survivor of a terrible fire. Unfortunately, I have dedicated my life to researching and recording the sad tale of the Baudelaire orphans. There is no reason for you to dedicate yourself to such things, and you might instead dedicate